In your dreams, have you ever seen the sky torn apart? It's not just a random dream. Everything is falling apart. But what's scarier is that humanity is slowly becoming numb to the warnings. Do you dare open your eyes to face the truth? Look deep into your heart and ask, if this moment were to come right now, where would you stand? Not before the world, but before the judgment of the Almighty. Are we ready to take responsibility for our actions? Can you hear the inner calling, a small whisper amidst the chaos? It's not just fear, it's the voice of conscience. Time is running out, and our choices will determine the future of the entire world. Which path will you choose? Some questions never have easy answers. We continue living as if nothing is changing, but deep down, everyone knows something is drawing near. Will you stand with those who refuse to change? Or will you accept that we have ignored the final warnings? Now the question is no longer about whether you believe or not. Do you dare stand up to face the truth, even if it might change everything? Look at yourself in the mirror and answer the most important question. Are you ready? That day will come like a thief in the night. No one will see it coming. But are we ready to face the inevitable? Every passing moment carries an invisible weight, filled with anxiety and hope. The first sign won't be a grand or flashy event. It will come in silence, creeping into every corner of life, making us question, do we have enough faith to recognize the truth? Before the light of a new day breaks, there will be terrifying darkness. Hearts will be tested between right and wrong, between greed and salvation. We have grown accustomed to comfort, but are we strong enough to face the coming storm? When every small action we take will determine our fate, perhaps His return is not merely to save, but also a harsh moral test. We will be challenged to choose greed or kindness, to choose fear or hope. With every passing day, we ask ourselves, are we on the right path? Are the values we cherish still strong enough when faced with the great upheavals of this era? In my dream, I see the image of a world falling apart. The coldness of hopelessness seeps into every prayer. But even there, hope rises in the hearts of the brave. That day will come like a biting cold wind, making us shiver. But the important question is, do we have the courage to face the truth, or will we choose to turn away from it? As the world changes, so do people. Will we become stronger, or will we be swept away in the flow of chaos? This is the time for us to decide. His return is not just a spiritual event, but also a call to action. Each of us must answer the question, what have we done to prepare for this day? In these final days, what is most important? Wealth, fame, or compassion and truth? The choices we make today will determine tomorrow's fate. When everything seems to collapse, is there anything left to hold on to? Or is it all just a test of our faith and determination? We will be tested, not just by physical strength, but also by morality and soul. This makes us wonder, do we have the courage to choose the righteous path? His return is not just an empty promise. It requires us to look deep within ourselves, to confront the sins and weaknesses we have ignored for so long. And then, when the final night falls, there will only be one question echoing in our minds. Are we ready to face Judgment Day, or are we still lost in the darkness? As the earth cracks open and the seas rise, people will panic. But what's more frightening is the silence that follows, when everything sinks into darkness, awaiting what comes next. We have been too engrossed in chasing power and material things, forgetting that we are but a small part of this vast ecosystem. We fight against each other, while the earth itself is crying out for help. Could this be the final sign before everything collapses? Every time war breaks out, thousands of lives are lost. But has anyone ever wondered, what will happen when there's no place left for us to call home? Earthquakes not only destroy buildings, but they also push people to the hardest choice, to survive or to give up. Famine spreads, not just in faraway lands. Scarcity and injustice have been eating away at society from within, making us wonder, is there a way out of this cycle? Heavy rains turn streets into rivers, but in the eyes of the survivors, they are rivers of tears, of pain and loss. In the moment of facing disaster, humanity is stripped bare of its weakness. Is this helplessness something we must endure because of past mistakes? War is not just about gunfire, but also an inner battle between good and evil, between greed and forgiveness. Every day we survive through disaster, we see more clearly the thin line between life and death. Perhaps this is the test we need to overcome. Natural disasters have no emotions, but they stir every emotion within us, from fear, pain, to hope and the desire for change. The signs are becoming clearer, not just in the sky, but in our hearts. What will we do when the final storm comes? Faced with all of this, what will you choose? Will you stand up for change, or silently accept the fate that the future has decided for you? In the silence, whispers of doubt begin to spread throughout the church. Believers who were once steadfast now hesitate before the faith they once held so firmly. There are promises that we believed in, but now, can we hold on to them when imposters fill our ranks? The light has gone out in many people's eyes, but within them is an unceasing struggle. Are the prophecies merely distant dreams? Jesus warned us about this, but who could have thought that it would happen to us in the very house of faith? There are new voices, new sermons. But is this the truth or merely deceit cleverly disguised? We see our friends, those who once shared in the Holy Communion, now turning their backs on the faith they once loved. When loyalty wavers, the church no longer feels like a safe haven. It becomes a battlefield of moral values being challenged. A wave of apostasy is spreading, but not everyone turns away. The faithful who remain stand strong, even though their hearts are torn by pain. Amid the chaos, a faint glimmer of hope. Perhaps this is when we must hold on to our faith the most. When everything becomes uncertain, the gospel is still being preached, but it echoes in a frightening silence. Who will listen? Who will receive it when faith has been fractured? The final days are drawing near. We must choose. Will we stay with our faith or be swept away by the empty promises of the world? Our morality is being tested, not just by the world, but by those we once called brothers and sisters. The imposters do not come from the outside, but from within us. They wear the masks of deception, but our hearts can feel their falsehood. The change within the church is not just a sign of the last days, but also a test of the faith we have built. We must ask ourselves, is our faith strong enough to stand against these challenges, or will we be the first to abandon it? Jerusalem, the sacred place of all faiths, will fall into chaos. Every belief, every prayer will be tested to the utmost as darkness envelops the city. An impostor claiming to be God will appear, shattering the fragile peace. He will sow fear and destruction, not only materially, but also spiritually within the hearts of men. People will look at each other, confused between truth and lies. Who will stand up for what is right? Or will everyone crumble under the hands of the impostor? Perhaps we are not just facing a man. We are facing our own faith, with the shaking of everything we've believed in for so long. When the walls of Jerusalem fall, it will not just be a structure destroyed. It will be the collapse of an entire civilization, a hope slowly fading in the hearts of the faithful. In the darkness, some will seek the light of God, but can everyone truly see it, or will it be nothing more than an illusion in the midst of a nightmare? With each passing day, the signs of destruction grow clearer. But what is the solution? Could it be that we have ignored the warning signs, the reminders from the Almighty? When Jesus spoke of the abomination of desolation, what did he see? Was it the inevitable downfall of mankind, lost in ambition and arrogance? Is there anyone strong enough to resist the abomination? Or will we all be swept into the vortex of destruction, unable to escape? A man may claim to be God, but his actions and greed will betray him. The question is, do we have the clarity to recognize the truth? In the face of collapse, is there anyone left who dares to place their trust in something greater than themselves? Or will all that remains be lost souls amidst the ruins of Jerusalem? We have the choice, either to fight against evil or be devoured by it. But what is the right choice when darkness shrouds every thought and action of humanity? All eyes will be on Jerusalem, where faith, salvation, and destruction coexist. Will we stand by and watch, or will we take part in this battle? Those standing in the shadows will mock the weakness of humanity. But even in that darkness, someone will light a small flame, just enough to illuminate the way. What will the final picture of Jerusalem be? Will it be one of destruction or one of rebirth? And the observers, what will we do when that image appears before our eyes? As the darkness slowly approaches, it's not just the absence of light, but the fear that seeps into every breath of humanity. Are we ready to face what is coming? Look up at the sky, and you'll see the stars disappearing, one by one, as if they are hiding from an undeniable truth. The sunlight weakens, not just a natural phenomenon. It's the universe's warning that our time is running short. Thick clouds cover the entire sky, like a mysterious veil hiding the truth behind them. Have we been too complacent, or are we just blind fools in the dark? The coldness creeps through every finger, every heartbeat. Is there anyone among us truly ready when the last light vanishes? When the light goes out and there's nothing left to guide the way? Can we find our own path through the fog of our own blindness? The hurried breaths of all humanity mix with the absolute silence of nature. This is not just a waiting period, but the ultimate test of faith and patience. Whispers echo in the darkness, not from any mouth, but from the depths of fear. Can you feel it? The Lord will come like the only light in the darkest night. But will it be salvation or the final judgment for what we have done? The whole world seems to stop. The moment between darkness and light is a time for reflection. How have we lived? How have we treated each other? In the darkness, everything becomes clearer. Nothing is hidden anymore. Are we ready to face the truth? When the darkness completely takes over, that is the moment we must ask ourselves, have we missed the chance to do what is right? In the haunting silence of the night, only the echoes of decisions and choices we've made remain. Have we missed the salvation that was offered? We've always waited for the light to guide us, but could it be that we ourselves extinguished the flame of hope long ago? When the light returns, what will you see? Will it be a new world, or just the continuation of old mistakes? The answer lies in the hands of each of us. Jesus affirmed, "No one knows the day or hour, only the Father in heaven." This mystery is not meant to make us fearful, but to help us live each day with reverence and hope. But the signs will come like light from a gloomy sky. When we see them, that's when we know the inevitable is near, right in front of us. Like a warning, these upheavals are not meant to make us afraid, but to awaken the courage and faith that have been dormant within each of us. Have we prepared ourselves to face the truth? When the truth comes, it won't be gentle, but it is necessary for us to understand our true worth in this life. He said, "Beware of false prophets, of sweet words that lead us astray." But are we wise enough to recognize the truth? This world is full of empty promises, of hollow invitations. Are we ready to give up everything to seek what truly matters? Life is always busy, but what will happen if there is no tomorrow? Have we lived fully, or are we merely existing in a state of unconsciousness? The end is not something we should fear, but a reminder of the fragility of life. How many more chances will we have to correct our mistakes? Perhaps the scariest thing isn't the end of the world, but the silence when we lose ourselves in the whirl of the worldly things. And what about our loved ones? Have we given them enough attention, treated them with sincerity, or have we left them adrift in our own busyness? When the time comes, will we stand firm on our moral foundation, or will we be swept away by the waters of greed and selfishness? There are moments in life when we must ask ourselves, what is the most important thing? Is it fame, money, or a pure heart and unconditional love? When we face life's big questions, it's not just about the actions we take, but the thoughts, the inner motives that become exposed. This journey, are we ready for it? Not just for tomorrow, but for every second, every small decision in the present. In the end, the question is not when will the event happen, But have we prepared to live our lives fully? When we look at the darkened sky ahead, it's not just the clouds that are covering it, but the darkness of deception spreading through every mind. There are truths buried so deep that we seem to have forgotten they ever existed. But even a small spark can awaken everything. Every step we take on this path, we can feel the suffocating weight of past wrong choices pressing down on us. We ask ourselves, does courage still mean anything when truth and lies become so intertwined that we no longer recognize the difference? The sweat dripping down our foreheads is not just from exhaustion, but from confusion and fear of the unknown. When the final door opens, it won't be light awaiting us, but the deepest darkness within ourselves waiting to be revealed. The guilt creeps into every corner of the soul, making us wonder if we are ready to face the truth we've been avoiding all this time. Between silence and the echo of the truth, there are cries within us, wanting to escape the vortex of lies, but they are too weak. We may say that we stand on the side of justice, but when everything is turned upside down, can we still hold on to what is right? When everything becomes hazy, what truly matters? Do we have the courage to abandon safety and embrace the bitter truth? In the moment of facing the truth, we no longer have a choice. We must decide to live in lies or to embrace the truth, no matter the cost. Some questions may never have answers, but that doesn't mean we can avoid asking them. We know that the truth can destroy many things, but from those ruins, a new life can be reborn. So, if everything we've believed in until now was a lie, do we have the courage to rebuild from scratch? As we look to the future, we don't just ask ourselves about the past, but we must face an even scarier question. Who will we be after this truth is revealed? It's as if the earth has stopped breathing, and the winds no longer feel gentle, but seem to carry warnings. The entire atmosphere has frozen, signaling that something immense is about to happen. Can you feel it? It's the silence of fate, waiting for the final call. People walk in a daze, caught up in a meaningless cycle. They don't realize that every step they take now is leading them closer to the edge of judgment. That feeling weighs heavily on each of us. In that final moment, which side will we stand on? Standing at the door of fate, what will you choose? Judgment or salvation? Darkness or light? The answer isn't far away. It lies in your choice right now. Reflect and leave your comment. Time is running out. Do you believe we are living in the last days? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos on the revelations ahead. Let's spread the message and prepare for the return of Christ together.